Hi, this is Brandon from Watches on You. Today we're taking a look at a watch that I've wanted to review for a very long time. This is the Tissot Seastar 1000 Powermatic 80. Now, we're here at JB Hudson Jewelers in Minneapolis, Minnesota, reviewing this watch, which is available here on sale brand new for a price of $725. And I'd also like to remind you that we'll be leaving a link in the description to this watch on Tissot's website, to JB Hudson's website, as well as our channel store where some of our favorite watches are for sale and watch accessories. And it does support the channel, so please make purchases on there if you are looking for any of those products. I would, again, highly encourage it. Thanks for your support. So now let's start the rest of this review. So as I said, this is the Tissot Seastar 1000 Powermatic 80. Now, this watch is completely made out of stainless steel. It's 316L. And it represents pretty good value for money. So as I said, this is a retail price of $725, but it has the real kind of feature of this watch is the movement. Now, it is not a completely in-house movement. It's a modified ETA 2824, and the extent of the modification is just the power reserve, but it has an 80-hour power reserve, which is way above anything at this price point for a dive watch, and that represents significant value. Now, I can show you the movement, and it's a little bit hard to see past that sticker. This watch is available brand new here, so I don't want to take that off, but you can see it doesn't really have finishing on it, but again, for $725 you're not really going to find a Swiss-made watch with really any finishing, to be honest. But again, the 80-hour power reserve more than compensates for its lack of finishing. It makes it a very usable watch, and this is an excellent daily wear. It has a ceramic bezel, which is a very important feature. It will not scratch. And some people worry about ceramic bezels chipping. I have never heard of that happening with really anyone I've ever met, to be honest. I've heard people complain about that, but I have never heard of it actually happening. And if you treat your watches reasonably well, it will not happen. So now I'll move on to the bezel here. So this bezel is 120 clicks, and the action is, I'd give it like a 6 out of 10. It doesn't really shake, but I don't know. I don't find the sound very satisfying. And also the numbers on the bezel are fairly hard to read. They're very dark gray, and you have to kind of see them in the right light. They're actually like glossy numbers, but they're just a really dark gray. They're like tinted. It looks almost like they tinted the metal that makes up the numbers, but I mean, that's fine. I mean, you can probably read them unless it's really, really dark. On camera, they don't show up very well just due to the lighting conditions, but I think that, again, they could have been made a little bit brighter. So with regards to the dial, I think that the dial, I would have made these indices at 3 and 9 o'clock as well as 6 o'clock a little bit larger because there's a lot of open space around 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. But other than that, I think the dial's fine. I mean, it's a 43 millimeter case size, so those problems could have been mitigated by making the case size more of around a 40, and I think it would have looked a little bit better. But other than that, I mean, it's fine. You have a date at 6 o'clock, before I forget to mention, and they really kind of played down the presence of the date, and I like that. I mean, I find a lot of people don't like a date feature, usually because it kind of interrupts the symmetry of the dial, but here the date is symmetrical, and also it's fairly small, so you can only see it really, or you would only really notice it if you really needed to know the date, which is perfect. So now I'll move on to the bracelet. So the bracelet on this watch is it's okay for the price, to be honest. I would say that it's on par, basically. So the clasp is pressed metal, which you're not really going to find that much better of clasps at this price point, but the bracelet is solid links. It has solid links, so that's fine. Now I'll move on to the wrist shot. So the 43 millimeter case size of this watch is fairly large. Again, I would have made it about a 40 millimeters, but unless you have a really small wrist, it's not really going to look that weird. I have about a 6.5 inch wrist in circumference for comparison purposes, so I think that, again, on most people's wrists, this will look fine. And this is just a great, affordable dive watch. And before I forget to mention, it does actually come with a lot of dive watch features, like that bezel, that rotating bezel, and it is a unidirectional bezel, as well as this diver's extension here on the clasp. It does not have micro adjust, so keep that in mind. But if you like this video, please remember to subscribe and share. And also, when you do subscribe, be sure to click the bell on the side of the subscription button so you see all the content that we release. We release a lot of videos, 3 a week on average, and we try to stick to mostly really high-end watches, but we also do affordable watches such as this and some other quite inexpensive Seikos that are around the $100 mark. So definitely subscribe if you're not a subscriber currently. So thank you for watching this video.